This is episode 41. Got confidence? Here's how to create some. Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/BlakeMallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Walk with me for a few minutes. So, question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, right now, where would you put your personal confidence? Confidence, you know what I mean? Confidence in yourself, confidence in what you're currently doing, confidence in the direction you're going right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, honesty check. First thing that comes to your mind, don't lie to yourself. Scale of 1 to 10, where would you put your personal confidence? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, right now. So as you probably guessed with that question, on my mind this morning, confidence. Something that we've all heard a lot about, we know what it means. But no matter how many times we hear it, is a characteristic or a trait that I think we would all agree is absolutely essential when it comes to achieving the success we want. I think confidence is essential when it comes to even achieving the level of happiness or joy or fulfillment we want. I think confidence is absolutely mandatory when it comes to really truly living up to our full personal potential. Don't we just get inspired when we're around other people who just seem to have that unwavering confidence, that unwavering certainty? Who's the one person that comes to mind when I say the word confidence that's close to you, someone you look up to that always seems to have that in them? And let's explore this whole topic of confidence. And the reason that I have this on my mind this morning is there's just a lot going on right now that can shake somebody's confidence. And I'm not going to dwell on the season we're in. We all know it. We all hear it every day. We're in the middle of it. But whether it be just the unknown and uncertainty, the dramatic changes in our lifestyle, our environments, our work or careers, we are in a time of shift. And when you're in a time of shift or change and unknown, it can lead to a rattling of personal confidence. So just want to talk about that today and maybe some of the things that I've learned and I've found useful in myself when I'm in those periods where you get hit with maybe some doubt, some insecurity, some uncertainty. And what are some things we can do to take whatever level you said you're at right now up a few notches? A couple things on my mind when we talk about confidence. Number one, a thing that I've found has helped is to have a image in your mind of the best possible version of your future self. I want you to think about that for a minute, right? What does the best possible version of your future self look like? Who is that person? cast yourself out as far as you can see. For some of you that may be, 5 years in the future, maybe 10 years into the future. Go as far out as you need to for you to give yourself a picture of what it can look like for you to reach your fullest potential. You see, I love that word potential because it's something all of us have. Now, it's different and unique in each of us. We all have our own potential, but we all have our own potential. What does it look like when you actualize your fullest, most complete level of potential? Who is that person, right? What do you look like? What do you feel like? What do you do? What type of impact, right, have you made? What does that person look like in your mind? And I want you to cast yourself out and get a mental image of the self. Now, you can have a mental image, right? And if that mental image works for you, get crystal clear on who that person is. A lot of times people will go from a mental image to a actual image. Maybe you find a photo or some sort of image that is a representation to you of your future self, that fullest potential. A lot of people, it's not just visual, it helps to crystallize that in words, in writing. So maybe you actually write out, right, who that future self, your best version of yourself is in the future. And just list, just free flow. There's no way to get this wrong. You can't mess up. Just let go. Don't worry about doing it right. Grab a pen, grab a paper, let it flow, right? And describe your best future version of yourself in writing. Some people even turn it into affirmations. So after you write it down, you can reshape the language and turn it into kind of positive statements. I am confident. I am successful. I am giving. I am, right, a person that makes an impact. I am happy. Whatever the descriptions are of your future self. So I think the first thing we can do to have a confidence is to get clear on who we are becoming. And whenever we're in a place of doubt, step into that person, the best version of ourselves, and say, okay, that's who I'm becoming. That's really what I'm in the process of being. And how would that person act or respond in the current situation? So that's one thing we can do to elevate our confidence. Something else we can do when it comes to our own confidence is we can focus on our strengths. Focus on our unique gifts and our talents, what we are amazing at. Now stop before you have negative self-talk. Here's the truth. We all have gifts. We all have talents. We all have things we are uniquely great at. And so often we're brought up in an environment where we're taught to focus on our weakness, taught to focus on what we didn't do right, taught to focus on what we don't have, right? Or what's missing rather than what we do have, rather than what we have a natural talent or gift at. So get clear on your natural talents and gifts. What are the things that come easy to you? What are the things that you accelerate faster at? What are the things that throughout all your life have always been with you and they become a second nature? The things where you learn fast, the things where you have a high aptitude, the things where you find yourself slipping into a state of flow, right? Those are all indicators of your gifts, your talents, your strengths. So focus in on the gifts you've been given. That raises your confidence. So often we knock our own insecurity, we break ourselves down because we focus on what was left out instead of focused on what was left in. Number 3, one thing we can do is an extension of that. We can stop comparing. So often today, and I think this has become heightened just in the world of social media because we are so easily connected, right, online. We can sit there in a matter of seconds and compare ourselves instantly to dozens and dozens of people. And with the fact that most of us put our best version of ourselves, right, out to the public world, a picture of perfect, so many profiles. And a lot of times we find ourselves scrolling or staring at the screens or maybe comparing ourselves to people in our life where we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. We're only seeing the perfect picture. You guys, we got to stop comparing ourselves to others by first realizing you really don't know what their journey looks like. Everybody is on their own journey, and the reality, no matter how confident they may be, how perfect it may be, how successful they may be, what type of abs they may have, the reality is everybody is on their own journey. And if you peel back the perfection, you're going to find that everybody has their own doubts, their own insecurities, their own struggles, right? Their own stuff that as a person, they're having to get through just like you. Nobody that I've ever met that's honest is going through life without all of that, maybe underneath the lens of what we all see. So stop comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. Stop comparing, your maybe weakness to somebody else's strength and ignoring the things that maybe you have a strength that maybe other people can't do as well as you. Get rid of the comparison. The only people you should be comparing yourself to is the past version of yourself. Today should be better than yesterday. Tomorrow should be better than today. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Compare yourself to the you of yesterday, not to anybody else on your social media screens or your cell phone contacts. So stop comparing. Another thing when it comes to confidence, and this is probably one of the most difficult ones, we got to learn to stop the negative self-talk, negative thoughts, negative perspective. Easier said than done, but when it comes to confidence, there's probably no one single thing that'll tear us down more than our own conversation in our own mind, constantly questioning, constantly doubting, constantly getting stuck in what once was, or a lot of times becoming afraid of what could be. Negative thoughts, guys, are the quickest way to knocking yourself down in confidence, ramping up insecurity, ramping up fear. And depending on who you are and where you come from and how long you've been down this path, you might have years of repetition in your own mind of negative thought patterns that we got to shift. And again, it all starts with just number one, awareness. So one of the first things you can do is just start to become aware of every time you have a negative thought in your mind, every time you go dark, every time you start to make up a potential future that is in fear, right? That might never be a reality. Every time you look at something a negative way, you got to just stop. You got to recognize and play a game. Every time you have a negative self-thought, stop and try to find a positive lens on the exact situation. Guys, it doesn't matter how bad the situation is. It doesn't matter. There's always a positive frame to look at. So we got to reframe our negative thoughts. The old school way, I'm sure many of you guys have been taught, is the rubber band on the wrist, right? Whenever you have a bad habit, one thing you can do is, hey, you want to break a bad habit? Whenever you do it, take that rubber band, put it on your wrist, pull it way, way back, and let that thing snap. How many of you guys have heard that little simple yet effective strategy to recondition a negative habit? Well, you guys, you can use that for negative thoughts. Put the rubber band on your wrist, and every time you have a negative thought, pull that thing back, snap, and reframe a positive. And if you're not going to put the rubber band on your wrist, have a mental rubber band in your head. Every time you have a negative thought, pull that thing back, let it snap, and reframe to a positive. If you knew the power of a negative thought, you would never have a negative thought. And too many negative thoughts lower our confidence, raise our insecurity, and sometimes create the very situation and attract the thing that we're afraid of in the first place. We got to learn to raise our confidence and reframe the negative thinking. Next, when it comes to reframing, we're working on input. Okay, so reframing negative means focus on positive input. A huge piece of input are the environment around us, right? So another, I think we're on number 5 here. Another would be choose your circle or your environment wisely. Guys, life's too short to surround yourself with people that diminish you, that constantly limit you, that constantly try to, keep you down or have certain controlling behavior. There's 2 types of people. There's people that build you up and there's people that keep you down. And life's too short to surround yourself with a variety of people that are focused on keeping you down. Focus on people that treat you right. Focus on people that see your value. Focus on people that see you better than you are today and lift you up to that person. We all have the ability to choose our circle, choose our environment. Why not choose people that are good people we enjoy being around, that make us better versions of ourselves? And start to limit the time or limit the access of people that do the opposite. Next one, celebrate your victories. When it comes to elevating confidence, celebrate the victories. So often we're so quick to be on to the next, right? What's around the corner? What do we do now, that we don't pause and actually acknowledge ourselves for the victories that we are achieving? And guys, there's no victory too small. Some victories may be big, but some victories may be small steps. We need to celebrate all victories, even the small victories. Show the progress you're making, acknowledge yourself, reward yourself. It's okay, right, to celebrate the accomplishments. So make sure we stop and pause and celebrate our victories. And the last one for today, when it comes to confidence, that's what we're talking about. Last one I'll have to say is just have faith. Have faith. Have faith. I really truly believe you were created for a reason. I believe we all were. I believe you were given certain talents and gifts for a reason. We all were. I believe you were put here for a reason. We all were. You were intentionally created and designed for a purpose. We all were. And you got to have faith that we're not here by just happenstance, some random collection of atoms and molecules wandering around aimlessly without any point. Guys, that's not faith. Faith is an understanding that you have been given a unique combination that makes up who you are and who you are becoming. And that person is here for a reason, to make an impact, not just for you, but the people around you. Maybe an impact on your loved ones, maybe an impact on your family, maybe an impact on your friends, maybe an impact on your neighborhood, maybe an impact on your community. Maybe you were created to make a broader impact on the world, but we were all here for a purpose. And that purpose, guys, is beyond just ourselves. It's to make an impact on people around you. And you got to have faith in that. And if you have faith in that, you'll draw strength and you'll draw confidence. And you'll move toward becoming that person that you're meant to be, that potential that we all have within us. So guys, there's a couple thoughts and hacks on confidence at a time that maybe some people are getting hit a little bit. Which ones are valuable to you? Which ones of what I just went over do you think you can adapt or adopt and start to apply that you think will help? Hope everybody has a beautiful day. Gonna go finish my run. And here's to raising confidence in ourselves so we can go become the person we're meant to be and make the impact we're all meant to make. Until next time we walk together, everybody, take care. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy. Look forward to walking together again soon.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com, or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram @BlakeMallon and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you, and I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.